All righty. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Nicole Poisson, and I'm the franchise development manager for KOA. I've been with KOA now for 6 years. As a consultant, I work with independent campground owners that are interested in partnering with us. And prior to KOA, I worked for a company called Evergreen Insurance, and they were a company that were owned and operated by campground owners. And we insured the majority of campgrounds in the country. All in all, I've been in the industry for 18 years, and I've been on thousands of properties, seen the good, I've seen the bad. And if you're here today, welcome and congratulations on your new beginning. You're either in the process of looking at parks, maybe you have looked at parks. And one of the things to consider is especially when you're doing your business plan, is whether or not you plan to run the park completely independently, or if you're looking to partner with a franchise to take advantage of the support there. So either way, there's not a good or bad, there's not a right or wrong answer. It really comes down to your personal goals, right? So today I'm just going to talk to you about the resources that KOA offers our franchisees. And then feel free to ask any questions or reach out to me, and my email and contact information will be on the last slide. So KOA is the world's largest system of privately held campgrounds. We currently have actually over 520 locations across the US and Canada. We have over 1 million households that camp with us each and every year. We were founded in 1962, and we're based in Billings, Montana. That's where our corporate office is located. And our current president CEO right here that you see on the screen is a lovely Toby O'Rourke. And we have, in the last 60 years, we've come a long way. So we get asked all the time, why should we choose KOA? Well, KOA is made up of a large group of diverse, friendly, and professional entrepreneurs. And they partner with us because they are looking for that support, right? They're looking for the processes and the strategies that are already put in place, and the resources that we offer, such as our marketing, our technological, our design, our operations, and our peer support. So you have to understand, owning a campground, you're everything to this business. It is pretty much like a small city, right? So you're not just the owner, you're the manager, you're the accountant, you're the groundskeeper, the housekeeper, the dog catcher. You're everything literally to this animal, right? So KOA believes in fostering entrepreneurship by providing the resources to assist in your success. And one of those resources being our proprietary management system. So when I first started in this industry 18 years ago, there was maybe one or two of these things out there. Now there's probably a dozen or more customer management systems to choose from. And choosing one can be costly, and it can waste a lot of time. So KOA takes that guesswork out for you, right? We offer you our proprietary system, K2. K2 is integrated with KOA.com, which is our online reservation system. There's no additional fees for booking for that system, and a camp store module is built in. So there's no need for an additional register for your store items. It provides very robust reporting. Any report that you would want, you can get from this system. It's a very streamlined process to make sure you're receiving the maximum price per site type, right? And It also provides simplified accounting. We provide all our franchisees with this system, QuickBooks Pro, and our system will download automatically to QuickBooks Pro so that it eliminates the time and the efficiency of having to double enter the information. And also it allows for getting rid of all those errors that you see with double entry. You don't have to worry about any technology updates. Compliance and upgrades are done for you through the system. KOA handles all the software updates. And the really nice thing is we have support there also on a 24-hour basis if you're having any questions on the reservation system. Built into our reservation system, we have what's called Rate Their Stay. So every time a guest checks out, they are automatically sent an email asking them how their stay was and to rate it. Now there's places for comments. It's a great resource for owners to have real-time actionable feedback, right? And something this industry has lacked in the past, and it's getting a little better, but it's still not great, is the lack of that type of information. If you're in the hotel industry, restaurant industry, you can find reviews everywhere. But in the camping industry, reviews have been spotty. You know, you may have a couple a year, maybe one every 2 years. It's really dependent. With our system, you have hundreds that are provided to you on an annual basis. So you can really get some great feedback from your guests. So KOA is largely built as a marketing-driven organization, okay? Our franchise model provides several core resources. So our marketing activity is designed to attract new guests and to foster those relationships and increase the loyalty of our existing guests. So KOA.com is actually the largest and most popular private camping website in the world. And it attracts over 30 million visitors each year. And you remember how I was saying that it was integrated with our reservation system.
Thanks.
So 54 reservations were booked online back in 2019, which again, 18 years ago, online reservations just weren't around for campgrounds. So it's amazing the digital era that we're moving into here. And they're booking, and why are they going to KOA.com, right? Well, because they trust in our brand. Advertising plays a huge role with that continued trust and loyalty. Our marketing team in Billings, Montana, they work hard to enforce the brand, drive awareness through a multimedia approach, which includes digital marketing, a large SEO, search engine optimization focus. We still have our directory, our printed directory that goes out to over 1 million campers each year. We have several national promotions. We have our very own KOA blog, which is home to really the best camping content and RVing content out there on the internet today. And social media is huge right now. So we have a very strong presence on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram. And also part of the things that we offer in our local marketing approach for our campgrounds. When I say local marketing, that is marketing that you do yourself on your property, right? So we have a range of tools for that. We have email programs for you. The Facebook Syndicator program is a program where, you know, when you're busy on your park, the last thing you want to be doing is spending time creating content for your blog or creating content for Facebook. So we do that for you in-house. And what we'll do is we'll send information to your Facebook page to keep you relevant and on top of people's minds. Of course, it's a program you've signed. You can click say, yes, I want to be part of it, or click say, no, I don't. And these are all free programs to you. There's no additional cost for that. We also have a database of over 1 million campers that we provide our email marketing to, and they get the KOA Compass on a monthly basis that gives them all kinds of fun tips on cooking and camping and RVing and things of that nature. So our goal is just to keep us top of mind. Our KOA app has over 2 million downloads today. It has had a 204% increase in mobile reservations since its inception. And in 2019, 194,000 reservations accounted for $25 million in registration revenue for our franchisees. And this is just a growing, I mean, there's an app for everything today. Now, just looking at these things on this screen, of course, you can get your own, you can find someone to build your website. You can find someone to set you up for online reservations. You can figure out how you're going to advertise and contact those companies. You can figure out all your local marketing that you want to do on the park. You can contact a company about getting an app. The nice thing about this is we're not reinventing the wheel here, right? We already have these processes and strategies put in place for our franchisees so that they can focus on what's really important, right? The operations of the actual campground. So not only do we provide unparalleled marketing, but we also provide every new KOA owner, whether you're purchasing an existing KOA or you're purchasing an independent park and going to convert it to a KOA, we provide them their very own business development consultant. Now, these guys are experts in all things campgrounds. If you have a question, they'll have an answer. And they will spend 4 days on your park with you, training you and your staff on our reservation system, on all the resources available to you. They'll look at rate management for you and see where you have inefficiencies or places that you can charge more, maybe switch things around. They are the best at what they do, and they're an invaluable resource to our franchisees. And they're there for you the entire time you're with KOA. When it comes to revenue management, we will not tell you what you need to be charging or what to set your prices at, but we will certainly consult with you. We have, with over 500 properties on our system, we're able to look at regional data, national data, local data to see what those prices are looking at and where the occupancy rates are high, where they're low, where you should be focusing. So again, it's great to have that resource in your back pocket, especially as a new owner. And we have a lovely lady in our office in Billings that is the QuickBooks Pro. She has been the highest rated service in our KOA satisfaction survey year after year. So any questions you have with that, she's there to answer them. Now, when we talk facilities and design, I pledge this is probably one of the best resources for our owners. Our design department is there for all our franchisees to help with updating electrical, to reconfiguration of sites, to addressing new build designs. We have several new builds right now. Probably, I think we have 20 in the works. Site additions, park rehabilitation, so many different resources to help you be the best that you can be as a park, right? They're there, their experience, they have the knowledge to basically look at the real estate you have and how to maximize your revenue from that. Then we have our KOA communications, which is every owner has a login to our intranet site. On our intranet site, there is a wealth of resources for you from all the local marketing information to, when COVID was going on, all the different PPA loans and different payroll protection issues and just stuff that was going on a state-by-state basis. So this is always a great place to go. At least I always go on a daily basis to see what's going on. but at least once a week for our owners is usually what we recommend. So all these departments that we have in Billings. So we have about 80 employees in Billings there to be at your beck and call, basically. And they're doing everything to basically just push campgrounds to your parks. So one of the great things our departments have put together are certain field guides to take that guesswork out for you. So our marketing field guides, they are meant to give owners and managers a micro marketing campaign at a local level that includes strategies, targets, tactics, how-tos. It's like a simplistic soup to nuts format. These are bi-yearly guides, and they're meant to service campers in the upcoming seasons. So who they are, what they want, how to reach them, that's all in this guide. And they even provide checklists and an average time of implementation to help you plan out your work. The front desk guide, this is a guide that you have right at the front desks. It helps you answer many questions that come up with your reservation system, tips for any type of emergency or disaster preparedness, value card requests, and other types of discount cards. So it's a great guide to just have right there to answer quick questions that you would have. Our facility design department put together the KOA Camp Store operations and field guide. Within this field guide, you'll find assistance in sales floor design, pricing strategies, budgets, and purchasing. So it's a really great guide to help you enhance your camp store revenue and operations. They also put together the merchandising and operations field guide. This helps franchisees identify key projects for store renovations, basically. These renovations aim to improve the aging infrastructure, garner increased store revenue, and create a heightened camper experience. The patio site field guide is a guide that helps you to create our trademarked patio sites that you'll see at KOAs. Show you how to install the sites. The guide outlines everything from the materials to design templates and cost estimates. And then a new trend that's been coming out are pocket parks. So we did, our facility department again put together a pocket park field guide, which a pocket park is basically a large recreation area that is basically laid out in landscape to provide for a certain experience versus the way campgrounds have been set up before, where they had, the horseshoes in one section and volleyball in another section. This creates a whole recreation area, and it's a very neat guide. Our site evaluation field guide was put together to help parks that had aging infrastructure. So you would basically go through your park and rate your sites A through D. And from there, you would do an evaluation and make a plan to upgrade these sites. And it has a pricing, it has a whole cost structure, and basically a business plan to outlay how you'll do that over the years. Cabin operations manual, that's basically operations for your cabins. KOA's had everything from the rustic, no water cabin to, full-on deluxe cabins. So this goes through the whole operations from housekeeping to maintenance, etc.
Hey, Nicole, I have a few questions that have popped up, if you don't mind my asking them now. Great. So we have a question from Teresa Barton, and she says, I am not looking to purchase a park. I'm looking to build one on land already purchased. How does KOA support startups?
Sure. So we do have a new build or new construction program at KOA that we can certainly discuss. It's basically a program where we provide all the full scale drawings for you, usually based off a topo map. And you take those drawings to be able to get all your permits and you provide them to your engineer. Shows everything from the electrical, where electrical lines go, where the sewer lines should go, to placement of recreation, buildings, bathhouses, sites, cabins. So I'm certainly happy to talk to you about that, Teresa. Probably we can do it offline. Just send me an email. My email address will be at the end of the presentation.
Thank you, Nicole.
Sure.
The next question comes from Scott Lepman. Scott says, my RV park is not affiliated with KOA. Can you still market on the KOA website if my RV park is not affiliated?
Yeah, no, it would have to be, because we are a marketing driven organization, but we're a franchisor of campgrounds. So in order to have access to those resources, you would have to be a franchised campground to do so.
Great. Next up, again from Vishal, I sincerely hope I am pronouncing that correctly. On average, for a KOA site, what percentage of revenue comes from site rentals versus store sales, on-site food sale, etc.?
Okay, so can you read that for me one more time, please?
Of course. On average, for a KOA site, what percentage of total revenue comes from site rentals, store sales, or on-site food sales? How is the revenue kind of broken down by those key?
Yeah, that's not something I can answer on a national scale. Our parks are so different, which later in the presentation I'll talk a little bit about our brand positioning. But for example, a Journey Park, which is an overnight park off of a highway, their sales in store are not going to be the same as a holiday park or a resort park that their store has a lot of novelty items. They're selling a lot of ice cream, pop, clothing, things of that nature. So you really can't compare them. It's really on an individual campground basis.
Great. Next question from Jeff. How does KOA share performance data with other KOA operators? And what information do they share? Is it recurring or when requested?
So we share a lot of information with our owners, but there is privacy, of course. So if we had a park that, what I do a lot when I'm doing consulting work with independent parks, I would look at regional data or parks with a similar footprint and similar sort of demographic. And I would do an average sort of calculation to determine, average per camper night, average occupancy rates. I would look at, the occupancies of the different site types. I'd look at occupancy of cabins and what their per camper night looks like. And then of course we share all our data on a national basis every year and on an ongoing basis on how our parks are performing. Our annual convention, that's a big scope of the entire company, but we'd never give private individual park information to anyone. That's your personal information.
Thank you. Next question. Does KOA regulate what features you can provide at your park? For example, bike park or skeet range?
No, we love recreation, we love amenities. So, I think one of the areas that's a misconception of KOA or of a franchise is that we're going to tell you how to do your business or how to operate your business, and that's not the case. We want you to be successful. We're here simply to support you. So if you want to put in a bike park, awesome. Now, if you wanted to do something a little bit more, racy, that's more adult or something, of course, but anything that's family oriented, yeah, 100%. And, a lot of times we'll test out, because KOA themselves, we own 30 or so properties right now. And we test a lot of these new upcoming products in our parks before we even share, we'll share that information with our franchisees. just like our our reservation system, we broke it and broke it and broke it until we actually put it out there for them to use. So it's kind of a neat way to, hey, I don't have to take the risk, let them take the risk. And we have campgrounds that have bike parks. So
All right, we've got lots of questions coming to you, Nicole. This is wonderful.
sure.
Aaron has a question. Do you monitor the type of RVs that stay in your parks? For example, class A, B, C, trailer, fifth wheel. If so, what is the percentage breakdown of this type of resort visitor?
So we do not break it down by class A, B, or C. We do break it down by site type. So it would be a pull through site, back in site, full hookup site, camping with kids, camping with dogs, but not the actual RV. We do not track the type of unit they are staying in. But I think the most important thing is knowing what sites your guests are staying. It doesn't matter what they're in, right? So, for example, in our Pigeon Forge property, we have these beautiful patio pull-through sites that are over $100 a night. A pop-up will go on that site just simply for that experience. So the important thing is to have sites big enough for the big rigs, right? And to have sites that differ in price levels. And so you could have a back in site water electric, right? For the smaller RVs, but they still can rent that big pull through if they want to. And that's the beauty of it.
Thank you. The next question from Vishal. Are the occupancy rates higher for glamping sites, park models, full hookups, or rustic tent sites? Is this changing over the years?
The majority of our business is RV business. Of course, the accommodation business is huge and it's been a growing business and it does very well. Tent camping, still 60% of your campers out there are tent campers. And those are the people you want to come in your park because that's their entry point, right? So once they come in and have a great experience, they're going to get that RV or they're going to rent a cabin. So they're really our entry point campers. Glamping is huge. And of course, glamping, we don't have as many glamping accommodations as we do the other types of accommodations out there, but occupancy is very high. Any cabin or glamping type of accommodation, occupancy is high on the weekends.
Great. Another question from Jeff. If I have a specific site, how can KOA assess the market potential of that site? Supply, demand, competitors, gaps in type of campground.
Sure. So there are companies out there that will do a full feasibility study for you that I'm happy to share those with anybody that's looking for a feasibility study. We don't do a full feasibility study. What we look at is historical data from the region, also the location of the park. I mean, being in the business for as long as we have, we really do know what works and what can be a success. And sometimes we do have to say no, because it doesn't make sense for the operator and it doesn't make sense for us because we don't believe we'll really be able to get them the return that they're looking for. But it's all done on a site-to-site basis. And we basically look at, it helps to have all that information from the surrounding parks to give us a good idea if, it's a well-performing area or not. But we also, look at highways. If you're outside a large metropolitan area, I mean, those are great areas, or if in a tourist area. But you also have to look at the tourist areas got significantly hit during COVID. It's all things to consider when looking.
Okay. Just for everyone, Nicole's contact information is at the conclusion of her presentation, and it will also be available in when you access the different recordings and resources. So somebody mentioned wanting to connect with Nicole, connect with you on the individuals that do feasibility studies. So we'll make sure to get that contact information shared. Another question just popped up from Teresa. How does KOA see monthly or long-term renter parks? Are they categorized and marketed differently? Are franchise opportunities available for these?
Yeah, Teresa, we have several parks. Probably the majority of parks you're going to see a combination, right? You're going to have a combination of your seasonal, long term, and then you're going to have your overnight. And it's very heavy in the New England areas, in the seasonal areas, because that's the guaranteed cash flow. Do we market them differently? No. Do we have any parks that are 100% seasonal long term? No. It's not our market. You wouldn't need us. You don't need all the resources that we have for marketing, et cetera, because your park is long term. You're not getting that turnover. But it's nice to have a balance. An overnight park will produce more revenue, hands down. It's just the law of numbers. Because a long-term park, sometimes I've seen them getting $11, maybe even $6 a day for that site, versus you could have a 38% occupancy of a site in an overnight park, and you've already surpassed that, the annual total revenue.
Thank you. We had two questions come in at almost the same time about the same topic. Both Gordon and Kurt are interested in learning about the costs associated with being a KOA franchisee. Is there a buy-in? What percentage of bookings, et cetera, goes to KOA under that franchise umbrella? Yeah, I think that covers what both of them said.
Okay. I have a slide on this later, but I'll just go over it now because I kind of like this dialogue anyway, instead of me just talking. So KOA, the initial franchise fee for a park to convert, so that would be an independent park converting to KOA, is $11,250. That fee covers all of your rebranding. So it covers your signage on your property, both entrance and interior, any trailblazer signage along the highway. It covers your reservation system being built, your landing page on KOA.com. It also covers your training for 2 people. We send you out to Billings, Montana to attend the KOA University, and we pay all expenses, most meals, but some meals are on your own. It'll also pay for a registration pass for 1 to our annual convention. So that's all kind of tied into that fee. That's a one-time fee. Our contracts are for 5 years. And ongoing fees is our royalty, right? So we have a 2% advertising and 8% royalty for a total of 10%. And that's based off of registration dollars only. It is not based off of any ancillary income. Now, as a park coming into our system, we do have types of promotional offers. For example, if you're a very well-established park and have a long list of existing customers, we offer a base book exclusion. This exclusion excludes anyone that's ever camped with you that you have record of in your park from ever paying any royalty. So it's only new business you pay a royalty on once you open as a KOA. The other promotion that we offer is a staggered royalty. So that is for parks that do not have a very large customer base. Really great for a highly overnight park, because staggered would be the way I would go with an overnight park. But your first year's 4%, your second year's 6%, your third is 8%, and by your 4th year, you're up to the 10%. Any other fees is a $1,500 administrative fee that's annual. And it's actually skipped in your first year. So in your second year, you'll start paying that. But other than that, the rest of the services are just included.
Thank you.
Next information
Yeah.
on some slides so that if you want to go back and review what I've said, because I know it's a lot, you can just go through my PowerPoint and you'll see that information there.
Excellent. Next question from Cody. Does KOA offer any benefits or incentives for veteran business owners?
So I don't believe so. It's a good question though. I don't know that we have any incentives. You mean like a veteran, like a military veteran? Yes.
Cody, would you mind offering any clarification? Yes, that is
Yes.
exactly what he means.
Yeah. Currently, we do not have any incentive programs for that.
Okay. So there are no additional questions at this time, Nicole, if you wanted to
Okay.
pop through any of the slides. Oh, hold on. Gary just popped a question in that said, what is the average cost per site if you are building? So that might be a more generalized question, but Nicole, you may have some insight on that as well.
Yeah. So without the land cost in it, that we're just talking, cost per site, I would budget 25 to 35,000 per site. And that is going to include all of your infrastructure, your main registration building, your bathhouse, all of your electrical pedestal sites, recreation. And of course, depending on the materials that you use, if you're using all pavers on your sites, of course, that cost is going to go up versus if you're just doing a concrete pad or gravel. Or if you plan to put in a water park, your cost is going to go up. But that would be an average per site.
Thank you. And I think,
What happened?
sorry, I'm muting.
Oh.
Sorry. As is the way in the Zoom world. There's so many variables that go into that. So I know that Tim Deputy is going to talk about what we look for when purchasing a park, and he may have a little bit of information on average site rates. Tim, I see that you unmuted. Do you have any information that you might be able to share at this time about the average cost of per site?
Well, you're dead right. It varies dramatically throughout the country. I've heard everything from 25,000, or somebody built them for 12 because they happen to be a contractor, to up to over $100,000 a site. So yeah, you're there's so many variables in there that you just can't spell out an answer without significant investigation on what you want and what the local cost would be.
Thank you.
And the
Yeah,
amenities.
Tim's right. That Tim's right on there with the contractor. We get that a lot. If they're doing the existing work themselves and they already have all their machinery and equipment, that makes a big difference in cost.
Thank you. A follow-up question to that comes from Gordon. On the cost and fees, Nicole, you talked about approximately 11,000 and some odd change for an existing. What if it's new? Is that where we're really diving into all of those unknown variables?
So a new build campground, if you were looking for our design services, it would be 30,000. And that would include all of the new build design work, et cetera, and then all the branding once you're up. So everything that we're talking about with the 11,250 prior with the signage and all of that, that would all be included in that 30,000.
Got it. This is great. So many questions. Michelle asks, is the 25 to 35 site cost include the engineering, furniture, and fixtures on the site, Nicole?
Well, again, it can and it cannot. It really depends on what we're talking for furniture and fixtures. If you're looking at a patio site, if you're looking to do patio sites, for example, they're gonna that have a integrated fire experience. They have a grill on site. They have 2 seating areas, and then you got a 250 square foot patio. That's going to cost a lot different than a pull through gravel site with just full hookup and a picnic table. So it really is, it's just not something you can answer, like Tim said, without having like a full range of details. to be able to look at that.
Thank you. And Nicole, I know you have a wealth of information to share. We are coming up kind of on our
That's
scheduled
okay.
time.
This is better. It's a better format. They have questions. I'm happy to answer.
So we have about 5 more minutes in kind of your presentation block. There aren't any questions posed at this time. So if there's anything in your PowerPoint that you think would be really important to highlight that hasn't been asked, please feel free to kind of click through that now.
Okay. So as a KOA, we do have our quality assurance teams that come out on an annual basis, which back in the day, we really did a poor job with. And I think KOA got a poor name because of some of our parks just were not good parks. So now we're really more focused on quality versus quantity. I mean, at one time we had almost 1,000 parks in our system, and now we're at 520. So our teams go out every year and they inspect your park to make sure that all of our parks are keeping on point with quality and brand, which is it's a great resource for you because that only helps your brother, your neighbor, and helps you. We have the work camper program. So we currently have 2,580 work campers in our system. These work campers are on KOA, on workatkoa.com. And one of the biggest issues in any industry, but specifically this industry, is staffing because it's seasonal in nature. It's a labor job, and it's just tough sometimes, especially depending on where you're located, to find really great staff. So this is a free employment service that we offer to our franchisee. KOA campgrounds can search work campers and post job openings. The great thing is these people know KOA. They actually pay a fee to be part of this service so that people can search them to be work campers. And a lot of these people are retired and have a lot of different skill sets. So you can really tap into some different things there. And many of the KOA work campers are already trained on another campground, so you don't have to retrain them on the reservation system, etc. Let's see. We've had, for the last 8 years, year-over-year growth. In 2019 was our best year ever. Of course, last year we had a little bit of a hit from COVID, but I tell you what, we're pretty impressed with our numbers. To be just down from our best year ever during a pandemic was pretty amazing. So we're pretty proud of that. Like I had said before, we believe you should be in business for yourself, but just not by yourself. So we offered a lot of support during COVID. During the crisis, our leaders worked closely with others in the camping industry to keep our campgrounds open as essential services. Moving forward, we continue to collaborate with all the camping professionals to provide the resources, not only for our franchisees, but for the outdoor hospitality industry in a whole. And we provided many webinars on cash flow management, legal considerations, and HR strategies during the pandemic for all of our franchisees. Toby O'Rourke, our CEO, and her staff in the home office, they worked tirelessly with the state and local officials to accommodate campgrounds. The marketing department had to completely rethink and revamp the campaigns for our parks, geared to this new kind of reality. And as each state opened, specific campaigns were sent to those states, which was amazing for our franchisees. They immediately saw such an uptake in their numbers. And, not last but not least, but we actually, KOA ended up supporting our franchisees by reimbursing. We reimbursed $5.2 million to our franchisees for the deposits and cancellation fees they faced during the pandemic. And I just think that speaks volumes about our company and, that we're in it with them in the long haul. How am I doing on time, Paula?
We've got 2 minutes and we had
Okay.
another question pop up, if that's all
Okay.
right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Vishal is asking, what is your outlook for 21 and 22 based on the growth of 2020?
I see this industry is not slowing down. If you're going to get in the industry now is the time to do it. I mean, the growth we've seen and the percentage of new campers we just got in 2020 during this pandemic, people that had never thought about camping before, and they're now camping. And that's amazing. That's a whole new market. And we were already on fire pre-pandemic. So I see only great things in the future for this industry. And I really don't see it slowing down anytime soon.
And I would add on to that some of the data and reporting that Arvik pulled from our member base, that a large percentage of their campers are return campers year over year. So by establishing in 2019 a very large population of new campers and providing them an incredible experience during somewhat of a challenging time, they have really set those up for being return campers, not just to their campground, but to the entire experience in general. So I agree with Nicole 100% that this, I would say we're kind of at a jumping off point in the industry, and it is just going to keep going up.
Absolutely.
All right. So we are right on time. Nicole, thank you for an incredible presentation and for being flexible and just kind of taking those questions as they came in. Again, Nicole's contact information will be on this PowerPoint, which will be
let me move it along for you.
We'll have a version of this PowerPoint available as a resource. So Nicole will just make it into a PDF and have it as a resource, and then her direct contact will be clickable in the recording and resource database that you guys will get your hands on here shortly.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate, thank you everyone who listened to me go on and on, but through the PowerPoint, if you have any questions at the end, there's a lot to do with how the conversion process, new builds, things of that nature. So let me know if email me. But yeah, thank you, Paula, for having me.
No problem.